Hello, my name's Cindy Shelton, and I'd like to welcome you to Math 150 online. I'd like to show you a little around the course, how to navigate. So you're on your Blackboard shell. Maybe you got there from our college website, Ashland. Let's see, what is that? ashlandkctcs.edu. So get to our website, and then you should see a list of your courses on Blackboard. So I'm going to click on our class, the Math 150 Z1 section, and show you what our tabs look like. All right, so I have some announcements in there actually already. We're having a boot camp this week. I would love to invite you there. If you didn't get an opportunity to do that, that's just fine, but I wanted you to be aware of that, so I did send out an email so you see that announcement. And I will try to have various announcements listed here. So that's the first tab we see. The second tab, the start here, is kind of the housekeeping things, the nuts and bolts, the behind-the-scenes parts about the course, and you'll see the syllabus. Of course, that's very important, the syllabus and the schedule, to kind of be aware of how to pace yourself for this course. And other things in here, calendars, my calendar, other resources, and links. So everything one might need to know, kind of background of the course, is there. Next tab is Mylabsplus, which is where we do most of our homework, assignment, things for grades, and we'll go there in just a minute. That also will contain your ebook. Some students like to have a hard copy of the book, so that is optional, of course. That's up to you if you'd like a hard copy. You can check with our bookstore or Amazon or various ways to get hard copies, but the ebook, you do have access to it through Mylabsplus online. The next tab, content. This is the hard copies of things as if you were coming to an in-person class and were taking notes and seeing the lectures. So know that I have this here in content, and the idea is that you will approach this class like you would an in-person class, knowing that you need to learn the material in some way, get it in your mind, either by listening to lectures online or reading the book, watching PowerPoint discussions. I have all these different helps for you, so you need to figure out what works best for you. But you need to go to that first, learn the material as if you were in a lecture, take notes, and then jump into the homework assignment. So do remember to keep it in that order. So this is one way you can do that. This shows the different chapters that we cover. Chapter R, by the way, is the review chapter, and it has kind of what you would see in an Algebra 1, Algebra 2 class in high school. So a lot of the foundational things, and it's a pretty meaty chapter. If you look at the book, there's a lot of stuff in there. So you may find yourself needing to go into Chapter R throughout the course and look back into some of the base things to refresh. So then Chapter 1, sort of where the official class starts. I do have some lectures where I teach this in person, some of my online lectures. So you can click on that and see a variety of lectures. And I'll try to add more as the course goes on, but there is some there to get you started, and you might find that's your mode of listening through the course. And you are welcome to come and see me in person and listen to some of my in-person lectures as well. And I'll send out more information about that in an announcement. But I wanted you to see that in content. And so there is Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4. And Chapter 5, we just do 2 little sections. And actually, Chapter 6 is optional. You'll not have any assignments on 6, but I just loved it so much I couldn't delete it. But so you can click on that, and for fun it says, so maybe I mean that to be funny, I'm not sure. I kind of mean it. I think it's a great chapter. In that chapter, there's actually, down here where you see more videos, it connects a lot of this abstract algebra that we learn throughout the semester with a concrete example where they're crushing kidney stones using the idea of algebra. So I encourage you to watch that video and maybe appreciate that the class does connect to some real life cool things. But again, it is optional. So all that's in content. All right. And then final exam preps and notes. Communication. So we do use discussion board. You can introduce yourself here, and I'll put up a link so if you want to interact with your classmates and ask questions and maybe help one another, get to know some of your classmates and have that resource, I'll be adding that as well. But there is no discussion board for grading, as you'll see as you read the syllabus. So that's what's there. Then there's a link for the library. Your grades will be determined by, as stated on the syllabus, but will be updated in Mylabsplus. So some teachers use Blackboard for their grading. I do not. I use Mylabsplus alone. So you'll always be able to tell what your grade is by looking in Mylabsplus. So just wanted to note that here. And then a help button with a lot of links for helps with Blackboard and Mylabsplus. All right, so let's go to Mylabsplus now and stay there a little bit. So when you click on Mylabsplus, it opens in a new tab. Let me open that tab. And yours may look slightly different from a student view than from my instructor's view, so just be aware of that. But you will find a tab that has the assignments in it. Mine says Assignment Managers. I think yours just says Assignments. So slightly different, but you'll find the assignments listed as well as the grade book listed down the side. And here's where you'll see where your grade gets determined, the assignments, which I know is what you really want to know about. First up is a syllabus quiz to get you started. Make sure you read that syllabus, so make sure you do that. And let me know if you have any questions about that. Next up, you'll see a tab for notes. And again, this is another option for you. I have notes over in content as well, but also stashed here. This is the book publisher's notes. So, you may like this better. So just find what works for you, but there's a ton of stuff there you'll see. And those can also be found once you access the e-textbook. But I've just put them here in another spot for you as you're working through your material. Then we get to homework assignments. R.3 is a homework assignment, R.4, R.5, and so on. And then we start Chapter 1. You'll notice there is no due date listed for Chapter R, and that's because it's optional for you. I've just put these here, again, optionally to help you review if you need to. So you don't have to, but they're there. So that's why there's no due date. So the actual course material starts with 1.1. In Chapter 1, again, you'll see every chapter heading, I put this in with some aids too, if you want to review in that way and take your notes before you start the homework. And I know you probably won't want to do all of these, so you find what works for you, but I've just listed lots of options to help you find your way of getting the material best for you. Okay, so after you've taken your notes and you're ready to do section 1.1, let's preview this homework assignment. So 1.1, we're going to solve an equation. So you're going to need to do this on paper. I've been teaching algebra forever. I may eventually figure this out without pen and paper, but typically you're going to need pencil and paper, and you're going to want to keep those organized. I think that will be helpful to you to have good notes organized, and then where you're working your homework problems, keep that organized, because you will have a final at the end of this class, and it will be helpful if you can have good materials to go back into at the end. So I'm just going to guess, 5. Maybe the answer to that's 5. I don't know. So I can check my answer, and I guess wrong. I'll get 3 tries on this, and you also have these question helps. Now, you shouldn't automatically go to the question help as the first thing. We should have seen this problem back in our notes we were taking, and should at least have an idea how to work it without the question help on your first attempt. But say you don't, and not every single problem, but this is here for you if you need to view the example. Students sometimes get too involved in this viewing the example, and they just find pattern recognition and kind of miss the point of how the concepts will work in the problem. So I just say use that lightly. It is a wonderful help in the right time, but you don't want to use it exclusively as your learning method. You want to try to know it, get this problem right, move on, and it'll actually save you time, I think, to do it with that method. Okay, so you get 3 tries on this. Say you miss it after 3, it will regenerate a new problem. So I could do that and say, I'm going to try 6. And I swear some of my students, I think this is how they get through their homework. They just guess. So don't do that. Don't do that. Try to work it. But after you get through 3 attempts. It's like, sorry, maybe you need to practice this and improve your performance. So we'll go to Skill Builder. It's not available on my preview mode, but that'll be something that you let me know if you like that. So it'll help you say, well, maybe you need to know about combining like terms or some prerequisite thing here. And then you get 3 more tries and you work the problem again and you go on to, there's 13 questions in this 1.1. So that's how the homework goes. Now, quizzes, you'll see after you do 1-1, the first assignment, by the way, due on January 21st, the first Monday we're back to school, the 21st, you'll have 2 things that are due, 1.1 and the quiz. And so when you do the quiz, you'll note you do not have the question helps. You can't view the example or videos, but there's only 7 questions. And then you'll submit the quiz. And, I missed all these. It says, oh, you missed everything. But you can review the test, and it will let you know what the correct answer should be. And then when you click the red, it's what you answered to kind of compare and see what you did wrong. So always take advantage of that. And then you take it again. You can take your assignments infinite times until the due date, and then the highest score is used in your grade calculation. So I expect you to work on this until you get your 100%. So ideally that's you'll press towards that, and you'll work ahead far enough to where you're not working at 11:59 on Monday night, before the deadline. You'll save yourself enough time to have achieved that before the deadline. And then we go on to 1-2, 1-3, and then we take another quiz. 1-4, 1-5, 1-6, another quiz as we go along. Every Monday midnight is your deadline. So you want to watch your deadlines. You can work ahead, absolutely free to work ahead as far as you like, but just be aware to stay ahead of the deadlines, and that the deadline for each week's assignment is that Monday midnight. So you'll progress through the class just like so, and we only have a final as our big test. It is 30% of your grade, and there's a thorough study guide of that, but you're pretty free range up until the final. You'll see there's nothing else on there, no big test except the final. So you take these weekly quizzes, do your homework, but I'm really counting on you to understand behind the scenes you're taking good notes, and you're ingesting the material and then taking these quizzes, so that when you get to the final, you're not like, what the heck is this? You have some good knowledge leading up to that, and you are prepared for this final with them. You're able to look back on it. Now, the final study guide will include all the material that you would need to know for the final. It is inclusive of most the highlights of everything leading up to that date. So that will be a study guide to help you with that final. But it's a pretty big study guide, and I do apologize for that. But it's a pretty big class. Lots and lots of competencies and skills to know. So it does kind of have to be big. And then the final exam, I believe it's 30 questions. It's not, humongous, but it is, enough to keep you busy there. And it is the bulk of your grade. 30% of your grade will come from that final exam, and it is proctored. So do keep that in mind, that towards the end of the semester, a few weeks out, you'll want to make an appointment to do that. And I'll talk to you more about that as time goes on. But that is taken in person at an official proctoring center. All right, so I wish you the very best of success, and know that I'm here. If you have questions, feel free to contact me. Best wishes.